Hello, RoahmMythril here once again, and it's time once again for ducks, yo. Some things have changed since the last Ducks update, and so there are some things I want to go over, so let's get right to it. We'll go back to the Infinity Pool. There haven't been any new pools or duck packs for the game lately, so we'll just go with some stuff that we've done before, but hey, ducks are fun to talk during. So we'll just have the So Many Ducks pack active, because I think there's still a number of those that we haven't seen yet. So let's begin. And as usual, we start with our little default yellow friend there. Okay. So, in the last updates video, I said that there were 4 main things that were kind of weighing on me, things that just were really piling up. Half of those, at least, have been taken care of by now. So, the first one to talk about is jury duty. That is officially done and dusted. So, I had been called in for jury duty in late January. I want to say it was the 21st or the 28th. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, our car was not working at the time. So, I gave my uncle as much time as I could before I'd have to go in for jury duty to get it fixed. I thought that was the best idea. But we get to the Friday before I would have had to go in for jury duty, it still wasn't fixed, so I looked on the site for the courthouse, found a number for the clerk, called them, told them what was going on. They said they understood the situation, though generally it is a better idea to call in earlier. It's one of those things I can kind of see both sides of it. So they said, what we can do is we can postpone your jury duty date. We're looking to fill spaces for March 11th. And I said, okay, I can't guarantee that the car will be fixed by then, but if that's the better option, then let's go with that. So I was scheduled to go in March 11th. So we go through all of February, the car still isn't fixed. Because the thing is, the only time my uncle actually has to work on it is times when the gun shop either closes early, which on Sundays we close at 2 in the afternoon, or Mondays where we're closed all day. Any other day we're open until 6 in the evening. It wasn't daylight savings yet, so you get to 6 in the evening, it's already pitch dark outside. We don't have like a lit garage or anything like that. You also have to bear in mind we don't have like any kind of covering we can put out there if it rains or whatever, so finding time to work on the car was kind of a thing. What do we got here? Pineapple duck. Lovely. So anyway, we get into March, and the car still isn't fixed. So bearing in mind what they told me last time, I call as early as I can. It's a Friday, and I call, and I can't get a hold of anybody. My phone keeps returning an error message saying that the call could not be completed, so I'm thinking, great, is there something else that's going wrong? Is there a problem with my phone? So to test, I call my uncle's phone, and the call goes right through. So whatever is wrong is on their end. So I go back on the courthouse site. I find an email address for the clerk, and send them an email about what's going on. Now it's Friday, so I know I'm not likely to hear anything until Monday at the earliest. So Monday rolls around, and they do indeed respond. First off, they apologize for the difficulty in trying to contact them because the courthouse was operating with minimal staff for Texas Independence Day. So for those not in the know, Texas Independence Day is a celebration of when the then territory of Texas broke off from Mexico and joined the United States. It is not generally seen as an official holiday where services and businesses would close down, people would take long vacations, you don't see ads on the TV for, we're having a Texas Independence Day sale, or anything like that. But apparently the courthouse at their own discretion can just say, nah, we out. Weird, but okay. They then say, you are hereby released from jury duty. I guess they didn't want to play email tag with me or anything, and just decided not to schedule me for another date. It's just done. I'm free. I'll take it. And then, as fate would have it, 4 days before I would have had jury duty, the car was fixed. Again, why I thought it was the best idea to give my uncle as much time as possible to fix the car before jury duty, and then call in if they couldn't, but again, I can see both sides. But since they told me to contact them early, made it more difficult for me to do so, and just let me go, I'm counting it as I did exactly what was asked of me, and that's just fine. We're done. So yes, jury duty is taken care of, and the car is fixed. I think we have seen this one before, but just to show him off again. Sushi Duck! So, anyway, with the car being fixed, that one does activate a bit of a trap card. Because now that we have transportation again, I do have to go in for my medical checkup. That appointment is, at the time of recording and uploading this video, tomorrow. So I have to get up early Monday morning, and by early, I mean early. They want me in at 7:30 in the morning. That's usually around when I go to bed. The nocturnal lifestyle. Yeah, I still haven't adjusted to not having to be up that late. It's just become such habit with me. But anyway. So, I have to go in for my appointment to get my blood work done, get my meds refilled. Even normally, I don't really like doing those appointments. I don't really handle medical stuff in general all that well. But I just never really like my appointments. I mean, going to the doctor always makes me nervous, and I'm always tired, hungry when I have to go in there because I have to fast for the blood work. And then they think it's so strange that my blood pressure is elevated. It's called stress. But the thing is with this one, I don't know if it's just kind of a hypochondriac thing talking, or if it's just the feeling of so many things have been going wrong for all my friends and loved ones to where I feel like I'm due or something, but I can't shake this nagging feeling that I'm going to get some kind of bad news at this appointment. Hopefully I don't. Hopefully it's just the usual, yeah, your numbers are high. I am a stress eater, and I've had a lot stressing me out. So we'll see how things go. Hopefully it doesn't end up too bad. It'll probably be a little while after I have the appointment before I get any kind of results. They always like to call me on Friday right before they go home for the weekend, just so I have those extra 2 days to stress out over it. Fun times. That is an adorable snail on that duck. I love it. So anyway, that's 3 of the 4 things. The 4th, the one that has been weighing heaviest on my mind, is still my friend going through medical condition stuff, which again, I am intentionally being vague about all of that because it's not my place to divulge somebody else's medical history, so I'm just kind of giving the most bare information about what's going on there. They've been struggling with a health thing since the end of last year. They are currently in treatment for it. But it's one of those things where the treatment has its own issues that have been hitting them kind of hard, and so I've been trying to be there for them as much as I can, which I wish I could do more. Like, I can be there for them, talk to them, and remind them to take their medicine when they need to, but other than that, they've just been super tired, so I feel like I can't really be there for them too often, and it's better to just let them rest, which I totally get that, you know? I absolutely understand that. And it's something with all of this that I wonder, I don't know if there's a term for, like, the way I feel about things like this, that my fear is coming across that my bigger concern is how these things are affecting me, and that's not at all true. Like, it's not a situation of, oh, woe is me, my friends are all having problems, please pity me. That's not at all how I want to come across with this. I am deeply concerned about the conditions of my friends. I am a worrier at heart. That's just how I've always been. And I just really want everybody to be okay. So, you know, I'm just... My friend with the condition, they're about, I think, 3/4 of the way through their treatment, so I just hope that they come out through the other side of this okay, and that they can heal up and everything can be good again. You know, I desperately hope that's what happens. Because it's the thing that these are my loved ones, so of course when they're going through something like that, it is going to affect me, but Obviously not as much as it's affecting them. I don't know if it's like an empathy thing, but I just want everyone to be okay. That's all I really want. Oh yeah, you. I got comments on the last video where I did a duck update and you showed up that apparently this is actually a coffee percolator. Which, yeah, makes sense. It's such a weirdly specific thing, and with that interaction, I kind of wonder if there is something that it can do with another duck or something like that. But anyway. So, yeah, they're a good bit of the way through their treatment. I know recovery after the treatment is going to take a while, but I just hope everything goes well. That one is still heavily weighing on my mind. But that, overall, is where real-life stuff is right now. So, of course, real-life stuff, it does have an effect on the channel, because, you know, it is a one-Durgan operation. Almost everything that happens. There are occasionally things where people will help me. Like, one I definitely want to mention is with the Battle Network 5 project. There are technically 3 versions of the game. There are the 2 that are on GBA that I've been playing for the project. There's also the DS game, which is Battle Network 5 Double Team, I think it's called, which I am not as familiar with. I do actually have a copy of it, but I have not played through it, so a lot of the changes I'm not super familiar with. So, I do have a friend on Discord, which he's been helping out with doing some research for me. At this point, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do like Talky bit videos at the end of the project to discuss Double Team and differences in it, because otherwise I would basically have to play both games again on the DS version. It would have to be via emulator, which isn't such a big issue, just making sure I can find a good DS emulator that works for my purposes, which I think I do have one. Because the thing is, also, the only recordable DS-adjacent console I have is a recordable 3DS, which does not have the GBA slot, which a lot of the changes in Double Team required the GBA slot. There were also some others that didn't, but a lot of things like, for example, some new forms Mega Man had, that requires the GBA slot, and also a certain amount of progress in GBA Battle Network games, so I'd have to do a lot of playing, basically, is what I'm saying, if it was the real-life stuff. And I don't actually know how GBA slot stuff works in the emulator. But all the same, I'm probably good with just playing through both versions of Battle Network 5 once each. Battle Network projects are already kind of a big thing. And obviously this one, it's been a while since I've worked on it, but again, it is a one-Durgan operation for the most part. Like, occasionally I'll have somebody that helps me out with research like that, or like Neo or another artist doing title card art for me or what have you. But for the most part, most research, gameplay, recording, editing, uploading, site maintenance, channel maintenance, social media handling, that's all me. I do not have the kind of money to be able to hire, like, any kind of staff to help me with any of this stuff. Rain cloud. And honestly, even if I could hire people to help me out with the video production side of things, I don't know how comfortable I'd be with that. That is purely a me thing. I have a hard time letting go of creative control. And while at the end of the day, I would be the one to review everything and make sure I was happy with it, I guess I kind of feel like if at that point I'm still having to review everything anyway, I may as well be doing it myself, if that makes sense. I don't know. But again, money is an issue, because I would want to pay people fairly, but I just don't have the money to do that. I'm also not really a big enough channel to warrant having any kind of editing staff or anything like that. So, bigger projects right now like Battle Network 5, Pokemon Crystal, I know it's been a while since I've worked on them. But I just admittedly, with everything going on, I have not really been in a good headspace. And so I want to be able to approach those projects with the love and energy and effort and care that they deserve. And at the moment, I just don't have that in me. I don't want to approach them from a feeling of, oh, I have to do this, to where it becomes more of a chore than something I legit want to do. And so I've been doing a lot of gaming sessions with friends, and that stuff has been going up on the channel, which I'm glad most people seem to be enjoying. Honestly, these friend gaming sessions, they've really been what's keeping me going lately. And so I want to take a moment to sincerely thank my friends. So many people that have just been wonderful in either just being there for me and talking with me, keeping me sane throughout all of this, or even being in those videos with me, helping me out with content creation and production. I am deeply appreciative for everyone that I am lucky enough to be able to call a friend. I am also very thankful to those of my fans and viewers who are understanding of how things are going right now. So, as far as what's going on with the channel, obviously, for now, a lot of it is going to be these friend gaming sessions. There's likely to be more episodes of things that have already gone up on the channel, things like more rounds of Red Dragon Inn, Power Bomberman, Code Names, we just did Gardic Phone, which that seemed pretty popular. We'll probably do more of that. We've also been looking into some other things, like we've talked about Golf with Your Friends. I think there were conversations about possibly doing Lethal Company. We've talked about bringing Worms back, maybe doing some other things on Tabletop Simulator. I think we've also floated the idea of Mega Man 8-Bit Deathmatch, which that one I need to track down and get that installed again. But that is a possibility. So there are various things that we could do. And this is even something that I might continue into when I do get back onto the big projects again, just doing these weekend gaming sessions and maybe getting some extra footage so that there's more variety on things going on then. We'll have to see how things go. Things are at least slowly approaching some semblance of normal again, to where I'm hoping that soonish I will feel like getting back to work on the big projects. Yeah, don't think I forgot you. A burglar duck! A crime! Wonder just what kind of criminal you are. Are you a safe quacker? I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. So anyway, as far as channel stuff, this is the point where I do need to address a bit of an elephant in the room, and no, it's not Francine's birthday this time. Obviously, we're getting close to April 1st, April Fool's Day, which traditionally I would post a gag reel video of the previous year's outtakes. Well, the previous year has been a bit of a thing. Between everything that happened with my cousin, leading up to and ending with his passing away, to all the stuff that hit toward the end of last year and has continued into the start of this year, yeah, I have not really been able to work a lot on the big projects where outtakes would be more likely. A lot of what I've done have been things like the World of Horror runs, which that's an ongoing semi-blind project, or the group gaming sessions. And the thing with both of those is, unless something occurs like almost immediately after I hit the recording button, then we're doing it live, and I can't exactly just cut everything and, like, tell all of my friends, okay, we're gonna have to do this round again because I tripped over what I was saying, haha, silly me. Can't do that. So I don't really have a lot of outtake footage this year. I'd be lucky to maybe get a 5-minute video out of it. So what I think I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna skip the gag reel this year. I'm gonna hold on to the footage I have and combine it with hopefully a more productive year to come, and then release one bigger gag reel next year. That, at least, is the plan. So, let me know what you think about that. Hopefully that's okay, because that seems like the best option I have right now. A duck in a diving suit that actually dives. And echoes. Nice. So, I want to say that covers pretty much everything with the channel. Like, basic highlights being that for the next little while we'll probably still mostly be doing the group gaming sessions. I do hope to get back to work on the bigger projects soon once things settle down a bit more. And probably no gag reel this year, and I hope people can understand the reasons as to that. I do have some footage, just not enough for a bigger video. It just doesn't really feel worth making one with so few outtakes. So, moving on from that, I guess for a more lighthearted thing, I can discuss some games that I had been playing lately. I've been getting very much back into Monster Hunter Rise, and back on my usual thing of, I want to make all the things. So far, I've made every final level longsword and hammer, and I'm working on dual blades right now. And it's just a fun and cathartic thing sometimes. There are some monsters I'm not super great at fighting. I think the main ones that fall into that category are, I'm not super great at fighting Velkhana or Primordial Malzeno. Those ones, they can still be a thing for me. I'm getting better-ish. It doesn't help that I think on one of the event quests I've been trying to do, I think they severely buff them both, because you have to fight both of them in that quest. Best I've done is I've taken out Velkhana, and then Malzeno basically triple-carded me in real fast. So that's a thing. A couple of eShop games that I played through recently. I beat Berserk Boy. Not a complete. I still need to go back and get a bunch of collectibles in that game. Overall, really satisfying movement options. There are a couple of things that I'm not as jazzed about, like one of the forms you can take in the game, I feel like it's kind of awkward, and unfortunately it is the last one you get as far as the main story goes. It does have its interesting points, though I do feel like some of the things on that form were just kind of like thrown in. Like, for example, there's a new enemy type that only shows up after you got that form that just feels like we needed to give this form some utility. The movement options on that one feel a bit awkward to me, but it is still overall cool. I enjoyed the game, and yeah, I need to go back and actually complete it. As for completing a game, I did fully complete Cavern of Dreams, which, it's kind of a nod to N64 era collectathons. It definitely has the vibe of such a game, but there are some things that kind of feel missing. Like, some of the worlds feel maybe empty doesn't quite feel like the right word, but it feels like more could have been added. And enemies don't generally feel like a threat because there's not really much of a health system. What do we got? Crochet duck. Would this be crochet or knitting? I feel like I've asked that before, actually. I think we had this one show up last time. And I think I asked the same question, maybe. But anyway, yeah. Cavern of Dreams, it's a fun, rompy little adventure. The little dragon that you control for it is adorable. Overall, I had a good time with it. I mean, obviously, I had a good enough time with it to fully complete the game. Like, I got every collectible in the game. So, it was nice. I've also been playing Balatro, which is a card-based, poker-based roguelite is the only way I can really describe it. I have not beaten a run of that one, though. That one gets tricky. But it is a very fun game, very addictive. Other than that, I've been looking into trying to put together some more Pokemon teams, so there is that. As far as a game I'm looking forward to, as someone with a deep-seated fear of water, it feels weird that I am looking forward to a game about diving and looking at fish. But that's where I am right now. I am looking forward to the new Endless Ocean game. One of my friends was a huge fan of the one for Wii U, and they sold me on it, so I definitely want to get this and check it out. Which also kind of puts me on another thing that I'm wondering if anybody has any recommendations for me, and this is a weird one to ask about, but I've kind of been in the mood for a fishing game. Specifically, I would love a fishing game where it's more than just bass, because so many fishing game, it's all about that bass, no treble. It's just get black bass, get black bass, get black bass. Oh, did you get another fish? That doesn't count. Get black bass. It'd be nice to have one where essentially you had, I guess it would be kind of a fish dex to complete, get all the fish. Which, I mean, yeah, you have that kind of thing in Animal Crossing, things like that. But I'd like it in a more, like, realistic fishing game, maybe. So, if anybody has any recommendations on something like that, maybe for Switch or Steam, I'd be interested in hearing recommendations. But overall, I think that's about everything I wanted to cover. Hopefully better times in the future. Just saying, so far the Year of the Dragon has not panned out for this particular dragon. Hopefully things get better, hopefully the appointment tomorrow goes smoothly. Big hope that my friend ends up being okay. We're closest to another duck dropping in, so I'm gonna just kind of stretch for time until that happens to see what our last little visitor is here. But yeah, that's how things overall have been going. Oh, I guess people have been asking what my opinions are on the reveal of Pokemon ZA, which overall, I want to hear more about it, because as a teaser, it really didn't tell us much. The one thing I am concerned about was the way they worded it, that it takes place entirely within Lumio City. That feels very limiting. And so I don't know if that was misspoken, or if there was more to it, or what. Because, I mean, you could make the case that Legends Arceus also took place entirely within one city, but also the outskirts of it, because there was only the one city. Parrot duck. Also something going on. Oh, right. This map has special ducks. Professional gamer duck. From the Republic of Gamers. Says right there on his shirt. But yeah, so if this is another thing where it's like Lumio City is the main hub, and that's where like any shops and major character interactions are, but you still go out into wilderness areas to deal with Pokemon and everything, that's fine. But the way it was worded felt weird to me. So I guess we'll see what happens. But I am cautiously optimistic because Legends Arceus was actually really fun, so I would love more of that. So we'll have to see how that one goes as we get more reports on it in the future. But for now, I think that's where we're going to call it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying the friend content on the channel and everything. Hopefully we can get back to the main projects soon, TM. And I shall see you again in the next video. Until then, fare thee well. Ducks!